Welcome once again, Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Tennessee baseball takes the field tomorrow night for a big series against LSU. Yes, LSU is not the number 2 ranked team in the nation as they were in the preseason, but make no mistake about it. This is a talented team. You better believe if Tennessee takes them lightly this weekend, they'll regret it. All right. And you look at this LSU team, it's a lot like Auburn last weekend. Auburn, I think, was better than the record indicated. LSU's the same. LSU's had a brutal schedule in conference up to this point. I think I'm seeing it right that they are, let's see, LSU in conference 3-9, 22-12 on the season. Well, looked at their conference schedule and I was just kind of curious on that. So they started off at Mississippi State. They lost 2 out of 3 at Mississippi State. Yeah, Mississippi State, I'm not sure if they're ranked right now or not, but it's not an easy place to play. Great college baseball environment down at the Dude in Starkville. And then they played Florida. And in Baton Rouge, Florida come in, took 2 out of 3 from them, ruled them on Sunday. Let's see, the next weekend at number 1 Arkansas, they got swept on that weekend. I mean, they played Arkansas close all 3 games, 7-4, 4-3, 7-5. And then this past weekend, Vanderbilt went down to Baton Rouge and took 2 out of 3. And on Sunday, they ruled LSU. So, I mean, you look at that, that's 4 strong teams so far. It's much like Auburn and their schedule up to this point as well. If I was comparing schedules right now, I'm honestly going to have to say Tennessee has had a much more favorable schedule than, say, LSU has at this point. And, I was texting with a buddy of mine earlier, and we talked about, too, you think of where Tennessee was this time last year. Didn't look good. People were talking about, well, Tennessee could possibly miss the tournament. I don't know if they're saying that with LSU. I'm not saying that by any means. But you look at where LSU is at, it's not where people had anticipated. So is this the same type of team with it? The biggest thing, LSU's having some pitching issues. But, I mean, I'm comparing their offense to Tennessee's. Tennessee's offense looks a whole lot better than LSU's. LSU still has some dangerous guys. Don't mistake that by any means. LSU has a hell of a pitcher in their starting rotation as well. But they're having pitching issues also. So if I go in and I look at their stats, now we'll look at their offense. Well, let's look at their pitching first. And Saturday, you're kind of going to see a matchup of what I would consider aces. Drew Beam, is Beam dominant? No. LSU, Luke Holman. Funny thing with Luke Holman, Tony Vitello talked about in the preseason, there was a transfer we thought was coming here all season. This guy's dad had said indicated he was coming, then he ended up not. I'm pretty sure it was Luke Holman they were talking about. It was for a long time. People were speculating that. I think some of the out of the gate when he went to the portal from Alabama, people said LSU. Well, he visited Tennessee, and it seemed for a pretty good portion of time that Tennessee was in really good shape there, only for him to, I think he may have visited LSU again late and then went to LSU. So, maybe some of the hope was ambitious on that front, especially considering that when he first went into the portal, prediction was LSU. But Tony Vitello, I'm almost positive that's who he was referring to, was under the impression that Holman was going to be coming to Knoxville, at least for a point in time, and he ended up going to LSU. Would have been huge for this staff. If you factor in this year, if you would have had Chase Burns back and Luke Holman to go along with Drew Beam, my gosh, this team would be unstoppable. It would be absolutely unstoppable. But, such is life. Things happen sometimes. They don't go the way you want them to. But Holman is LSU's main guy. He'll pitch on Saturday against Drew Beam. The other starter I've seen for sure is Gage Jump. He'll start Friday night, 3.98 ERA. Let's see, he has 2 wins, 31 2/3 innings, 38 strikeouts. That's what I'm seeing out of him. So it's a guy Tennessee can hit. He can hit. Not unrespectable numbers or disrespectful numbers by any means, but still a guy I think Tennessee can do something with. And I'll get to the counterparts on Tennessee's side of that pitching matchup. And then Sunday, LSU is listed as to be determined. So I don't think it's ever a good thing if on your weekend you have a to be determined or multiple to be determined spots on it. Both teams have a to be determined. The scary thing for Tennessee, theirs is on Friday night. We don't know if it's Causey going again tomorrow night or who it will be. And I could sit here and speculate all day long with it. I've seen speculation. It could be anywhere from Causey to Stamos to Cannell to Aaron Combs. I don't know where you go at this point. I don't really have the answer for it. I have my opinion on where I would go with it, but I would be looking out long term with a short leash because I feel these guys that are being mentioned are possible just more or less a Band-Aid on a sore. I really do. I don't think Combs, I don't think Stamos are long term. Cannell come in through 94 pitches last weekend, threw great. He kept Tennessee around, but I'm not crazy about those options. I'll be honest with you. If it were me, and obviously it's not, I'm looking at Loy. I'm looking at Matthew Dallas. I'm looking at long term this year. Who has the most potential to get me a weekend start? There's a part of me thinks they may move Snead up, but I like Snead in that role he's at now. Do they keep him on that Sunday where if Seacrest goes a few innings and then Snead finishes it? I don't know that they mess with Sunday because Seacrest is listed as the Sunday starter. So I'm not so sure they mess with that. I'm really not. So I'll be curious to see who they go with tomorrow night. If I had to guess, I'm going to say Causey gets another look at it tomorrow night because he's been really good for the most part. The last 2 weekends, not so much, but I'm going to guess. It's a total guess on my part that Causey starts with a short leash, but I'm not crazy seeing Combs nor Stamos in that role. Cannell, I'm okay with it. The other two, I'm not. And I don't see him going with the freshman. And Vitello was asked what it would take for those guys, and it's what I've alluded to and talked about, throwing strikes. That's what it's going to take for those guys to get into the weekends. And I just don't think there's that trust there. Again, I say it, I'm not coaching. I'm not paid to make those decisions. That's just me. I'll look at who I feel has the most upside. I feel like Loy and Dallas have more upside than these other dudes. But at the same time, if you're not throwing strikes, how can you be trusted? And I've seen nothing out of Combs that's encouraged me. I've seen people saying, well, he was a positive last week. He's better than he was been, but he still come in with inherited runs and allowed 3 of them to score. And so he's got to show me more. He has to show me a whole lot more. Looking at LSU's offense on it, talked about their pitching. Main guy, Tommy White. He's still their main guy. 11 home runs, 29 RBIs, 324 average. The other guy that stands out to me is Jared Jones, 304, 14 home runs, 34 RBIs. LSU's kind of like Tennessee. They don't steal a whole lot of bases. Looks like maybe they steal a little bit more than Tennessee, but that's not saying a whole lot either. LSU's team batting average is 284. Tennessee's absolutely smoking them on that. Tennessee has a much better offense than LSU this year, but you got to keep in mind LSU's the defending national champions. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to bring it this weekend. If I'm Tennessee, what do I need for motivation? All I got to do is think back to last May, College World Series, who put me out? 2 games, LSU. Yeah, I know Paul Skeens, Dylan Cruz, some of these guys, Trey Morgan, they're not there. It's still LSU. It's still arguably the best baseball program in the country, regardless of ranking right now. Knoxville is going to be electric this weekend. That crowd, LSU fans, they travel, does not matter what. Tennessee fans are going to have to bring it. bigger stadium than the last time these teams played in Knoxville. You don't have temporary seating. You have permanent seating down the left field line. Now, I'm excited about this series. This is big boy baseball here. Yes, like I said, I know LSU's not ranked number 2. I know they're not up there at the top of the conference right now. Make no mistake about it, the talent is there. This is a good baseball team. This is a baseball team that when it's all said and done this year, I expect will still have a big say-so when you get to regionals, super regionals, and possibly even into Omaha there. Big boy series, big boy baseball. If you're Tennessee baseball, if you truly want to continue to garner respect and get it, you're going to have to take series like this against the blue bloods of college baseball. LSU's up there at the top of it. As for what's in store for this program for the weekend, tomorrow night, post-game, right after, House of Orange, live, right after this baseball game. Won't be Saturday night. I'd love to go live Saturday night, have a prior commitment. Not going to lie, I like to do things. My wife and I like to do things. We like to go to concerts. Got a pretty cool concert Saturday night. I've missed shows before over them. I'll miss them again in the future. I'm going to still live my life. I love doing this channel. I love the support, but I also love doing the things that I love to do too, especially when I lived away from it for 4 years and I'm back in an area where all the things that I've loved and missed are available again. But I'll be live tomorrow night. I'm excited about that. We'll see how it goes tomorrow night because there'll be a lot to talk about. There'll be baseball. I would not be surprised if there's not more basketball, portal news, and, of course, the orange and white game Saturday. It's going to be a big-time weekend in Knoxville. They have rolled out. They're ready for it as far as what I've seen for baseball. Friday night, Kim Caldwell, the new Lady Vols coach, is throwing out the first pitch. Saturday, Todd Helton will be throwing out the first pitch. Sunday, Dalton Connect is throwing out the first pitch. So that's a heavy list of hitters for this weekend. Saturday is going to be pretty cool. You got the orange and white game. They have a watch party schedule. I think I saw in lot 9 for those who don't have tickets. They're planning a big weekend in Knoxville. It's going to be a lot of fun. Wish I could be there. If you're able to get up there in some way, I definitely urge you to do that and take in the weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully the Vols can take care of business this weekend. And, other stories to watch is Billy Amick back. Tony Vitello said he thought there was a possibility he can be. Guys have stepped up in his place, but let's make no mistake about it. He's on the Golden Spikes list. You want Billy Amick in that lineup. You want to hear the stroke this weekend. I'm going to wrap it up on that one with you. I think I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. Hopefully not, but hopefully you will tune in with me tomorrow night post game. And you'll stay tuned for any basketball news, posted videos all week based on news from the portal. I'll continue to keep that updated with whatever comes to mind, or whatever I run across. But this is Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel, the best YouTube channel for basketball and baseball from the University of Tennessee, bar none. Have a great evening. Last but not least, and always, go Vols.
Everyone